Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you are new here, I used to be a weekend commuter and this video requires a little bit of context, so it's some story time, if you will. I was a weekend commuter for a while. I was living and working in Philadelphia when my husband found out that he had to take a job elsewhere up in New England. Now, to make my life work, because I was about to start a class for grad school, I love my job, I decided to become a weekend commuter so that I could still have my life with him. And we got our kitties out of it. It's fantastic. I love it up here. But what it meant was a 5-hour train ride down to Philadelphia at the beginning of the week and then going home, living really simply. When I was there, I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping well because I was away from home essentially, even though I had a comfortable place to live down in Philly. But I was away from my home, I was away from my clothes, and it was awful. I became really lazy. I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped trying to make an effort with the clothes I wore, with the colors I would incorporate. I pretty much just wore jeans and a navy top. And that's it every single day. My coworkers were used to me they were used to me wearing really vibrant colors, really colorful outfits, different patterns. I was definitely the most colorful butterfly in the office. So to completely stop that, I stopped wearing foundation. I pretty much stopped wearing all makeup. I noticed I moved too far in the drab direction to the point where I wasn't getting energy from my clothes, and then I was feeling worse because I looked so drained. I would feel awful and I'd see myself in the mirror and I'd feel worse. So these are some of the luxury items that made my life easier. They brought light and color to my face when I felt awful and exhausted. Okay, so to get started, the thing I absolutely had to have was an indestructible tote. I love this Longchamp Tote, but obviously you can get so many different ones. I like it because it is black, it is pretty much unbranded, no one's going to notice this, and even if it does, you know, people are used to seeing Longchamp, so you don't have to get into the whole luxury into the workplace debate. It does have this really bright orange interior. I don't mind it being an open style tote even though I'm going on public transit, because I could just put my wallet and everything into this big zipper. Anything I'd be more careful about. Another thing I love about it is how it buttons up on the sides, so you can really tuck it in like that and make it look more like a day bucket bag kind of thing. I'm personally not into the never full. It's just, it doesn't work for me, and it would definitely stand out in my office if I had something like Louis Vuitton in there. It's just not something that I want to do, but I love that bag, and I know that it is a great workhorse. I know that everyone loves that bag, and I think with good reason. It is so stupid how people call it basic. I don't get it. You know, part of me wonders if it was like some weird conspiracy theory, like, I don't know, some weird marketing technique from competitive brands where we're like, how can we make everyone loving it a bad thing? Okay, let's make that an insult. Let's call it basic. I don't get how else that could have come about, because generally a lot of people liking something makes it popular. Yeah, I don't get that one. Anyway, rant over. I think it's a great bag, and I know a lot of people love it. There are a ton of reviews on it. I personally just like this Longchamp tote because this thing is indestructible. It goes on the floor, it goes on trains, planes. There's absolutely no corner wear, and I don't have to worry about it walking through the city. I also understand why people like the nylon totes from Longchamp. It took me a while to be converted. I kind of thought that's just a lot of money for a nylon bag. Why? But they're so sturdy, and I did get this one on sale. You can usually get their seasonal colors, because why do you not want a bright orange bag? I love it. You can usually get them on sale for like well under $100. I would say like 60 to 80, and I do use this all the time. I use it far more than any of my really high-end luxury bags because It's great for work, especially if I know there's going to be like a big rainstorm coming in, but you can also use it for going to the park. I would often pack a beach blanket, my coffee, my book, all that stuff with just this. So those are some of the bags I loved to use at this time, still love to use them. Another thing, another luxury item that I think is worth the splurge because it just meant I didn't have to think so hard about my look, but I still felt like I looked really good, has to be silk scarves. It just brought a lot of light to my face. It felt like I was carrying around a ring light, you know, at a time when I wasn't gonna bother with makeup, because the more makeup you pack, the more things, I mean, you have to carry the makeup. You have to carry things to take the makeup off, which means you have to put all that effort into your skincare and all that stuff at the end of the day, when I just did not want to do that. Can you hear my cat howling? I can hear my cat howling. Their food is, they're supposed to get fed. Yeah. Shush. Okay. I love these silk scarves so much, and you don't even have to pay a lot of money for them. I bought these at the Ferragamo outlet. If you're in the US, there's a number of outlet stores where you can get silk scarves. They also go on sale at all the major department stores. I did get this one from Dior's just because I loved the pattern so much. It was worth it, and I know that I get the use out of them. Just pick your best color. Silk brings just so much light to the face, and I think they're so good for like tucking around your collar. You can wear it around the office. I was still keeping up with just wearing pretty much jeans, navy sweater or a charcoal sweater, something like that, because I would often rewear the same sweater in a week, and in not wanting people to notice that I was putting no effort into my clothes, I could really switch things up with a silk scarf. Maybe do a red lip some days, or like a glossy lip, something like that, just to liven up my face. And I will say my skin actually improved with not wearing foundation. Do you ever think that sometimes sometimes we're trying to like fix things like our skin, and then the products we use to fix things actually cause their own problems, and it just compiles, and then you have, you know, a closet for your skincare and your makeup, and everything is just trying to write something else that something else caught. Anyway, in simplifying my life and in really paring down my luxury items, I've noticed that, you know, these are so good, and if someone was wanting to start a luxury collection, this would make my list of things to get. Up next, keeping with the theme of I didn't want to look like a slob, but didn't want to put in any effort, silk camis are fabulous for keeping you warm, keeping you cool. Something I love about the Lily Silk ones, but you can find this in a bunch of different ones, they have adjustable straps. They have a ton of different colors, which is something I think unique to Lily Silk. They wear really well, they travel really well. The adjustable straps meant that I didn't have to have any cleavage. I don't want that at work, but they layer really nicely under cardigans, blazers, sweaters, even if you just want an extra layer, because it can be really hot and sweaty on trains sometimes, and sometimes it can be freezing traveling between the train, walking through the city, going into the office, going to school. It was gross. I was gross by the end of the day. But the Lily Silk camis are a really good option, and silk just always looks fancy in my opinion. You really can't go wrong with silk, which leads me to my next item, these silk blouses. I will, for all of these things if I can, I'll list some of my favorite brands down below. I do have a Lily Silk review, but there are so many options, and it's so easy to get them at an affordable price. Nordstrom Rack is a really good option. I just recently found out that Nordstrom Rack is in Canada as well. So I used to get all of my silk blouses at Nordstrom Rack. They would often go on sale. You can get equipment there. Vince, Rebecca Taylor. Rebecca Taylor has really dainty feminine details. All of these items that I'm showing you travel really well, because I have had to travel with them. I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I would commute down, I would have a backpack and that tote. That is it. I could keep a couple things at the apartment where I was staying, but for the most part, everything I would have to fit into that backpack or tote. So all of these things roll up really well. I would just have one pair of shoes, one pair of jeans, and that's it. So anything that brings more light to my face and makes me look dressy with minimal effort, that was a win, and these are a really good pick. Continuing to complete my outfit, cashmere sweaters are worth the money. It's definitely worth spending a little bit extra to avoid like fast fashion cashmere. I have noticed that, like, for example, I've gotten a JCPenney cashmere sweater and it looked like crap probably a couple weeks later. It started to bobble, it was really thin. You have to be so much more careful with how you wash it because otherwise it wears out so much faster. But these pieces have lasted me a very long time and you can always get them on sale. Vince cashmere is really, really good, but you can get it on sale at Nordstrom Rack, Nordstrom, most department stores, even just directly from Vince. They're great, and it's like a cozy hug, and cashmere is hypoallergenic, means you don't have to wash it every single time. You can sometimes just steam it to refresh it every so often. They don't bobble very quickly in my experience, but you can pick a good color for you and wear that. It always looks good with a pair of trousers, jeans, a skirt. They're just really versatile, and again, when you're going in different climates where the temperature is always going to be changing, you have to layer one of these over top of the silk blouses when it starts getting to winter time. That's a really chic way to be cozy and warm and still office appropriate. So I loved these. Again, you don't have to worry about rolling them up, shoving them in a backpack, and living like that for a week. So these were great and just very comforting. My cat's food is about to go off, so I have to pause. We have automatic timers. I don't know if anyone has this, so we feed them one meal. Oh, here it goes. Trot, trot, trot. Hello. Hi, Sherpa. Okay. We have automatic feeders 3 times a day, and then we actually feed them one meal so that we have that interaction with them. So continuing on, another thing I could not have survived without, and something that is worth spending a little extra money in my opinion, good boots. Waterproof boots. This might not be applicable everywhere, depending on where you live in the environment there, but I've pretty much always lived on the East Coast. You can't beat waterproof boots. Something with a really minimal heel. I like this as an alternative to black, but black is always good. I really like this forest green. It looks good with jeans, trousers, skirts, dresses, you name it, and they're just great. I pretty much gave up trumping through the city in heels because I was tired and my feet were hurting, and maybe it would be raining one day but then hot the next, and yeah, I just didn't want to have to think about it and lug lots of footwear with me. So having one pair of boots that was suitable in all of these environments was really great. I did usually leave a pair of pumps at my office so that I could switch into them, because I have to admit I would often just wear sneakers, tennis shoes, something. Really easy, because I would often walk several miles a day just to, I don't know, clear my mind and break away from 5 hours on the train. You know, that was exhausting in and of itself, even though you're just sitting there. But a good pair of waterproof boots are worth spending the money. These are from Aquitalia, and you can often get them on sale. I think I got these for 50% off from Nordstrom just a little bit ago. Lastly, completing the look, coats. Buying a good coat is worth the money because it lasts for years and years and years, and you do not have to spend Canada Goose money on a good coat. I will never buy a Canada Goose jacket. I could go on an entire rant about that. I do have a parka and it's fabulous. It's from Arc'teryx. Oh, I could just go on and into sportswear. I won't though. Keeping with things that kept me cozy and lively has to be my J. Crew very orange wool jacket. I can't tell you how many compliments I have gotten on this coat. And it looks fabulous with this silk scarf because of the orange in here. I love this coat. I got it on sale because for some reason nobody wanted the orange. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing a theme. I'm recognizing a pattern. I got this on sale because nobody wanted it. Why? It's just, you don't have to wear a black coat. You don't have to wear a gray coat. I love a camel coat as much as anyone, even though I've already said they don't look ideal on me. But a really warm wool coat in a brighter color really livened up my life. It gave me more energy when I felt awful. And it's just, you know, it's a good staple. This has lasted me, how long have I had you? 3 years? 4 years? Still going strong. A very healthy relationship. Up next, speaking of casual, less colorful options, is a trench. I love this trench, especially if I knew it was going to be windy, rainy, and I only wanted to bring one coat. I could only bring one coat. Coats are especially bulky, unlike sweaters and the silk tops I talked about. You know, those, obviously I'm going to bring multiple ones. I have to anyway. But coat, I'm not gonna lug multiple coats with me. All of these actually, I think, you know, most of us probably aren't weekend commuters, but if you're traveling, all of these tips apply. I think a trench coat is a fantastic option, and they do not have to be insanely expensive. I did get this at the outlet. This is a Cole Haan one, and it came with a really nice insulated liner, but I would love to get a Burberry one. That's one of my dream items for this year. I really, really want a Burberry trench, and I love this jacket, so I know at least I'll get the use out of it. Hopefully in a slightly different tone, because this one is still going strong and I've had it for 4 years. So really taking any of these silk scarves, tucking it in, because this is not my best color, tucking them in, you just look chic, you look put together, and you haven't made any effort because it's still just jeans, a silk top, and a coat. That's it, you know? And I didn't feel like I needed to wear loads of makeup to make it work. All of these pieces fit really well together. So that is my video. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was helpful. Please let me know some of your most used, most useful luxury items. Basically, I mean, this would be a good foundation to any luxury collection, because get the things you're going to use. Get things that, you know, maybe you want to update, like the cheaper version that's constantly wearing out on you. All of these were well worth the money and lasted a long time, so I can't complain. They bring a lot to the table. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. If any of this resonates with you, consider liking it. It would really mean a lot to me. So I'll talk to you next time. Bye.